What's up, y'all? It's me, LSP. Good Tuesday morning to you. It is Tuesday, so it of course is Roseanne Tuesday. I shouldn't say of course, because I said I was going to talk about Roseanne, so I'm tired of talking about it, or if there's nothing to talk about, right? So it's been 2 weeks, so let's jump right into the old Roseanne discussion. I enjoyed this episode, No Country for Old Women. It was classic Roseanne for me. Opened with the women playing poker, including Little Miss Harris was getting to play. But my favorite, Nancy and Crystal, were back. I've always loved Crystal. Crystal was always like the pure friend of Roseanne. She always she was the dingy one, but she had that pure heart. Her husband is buried in the column, Lonnie Sr. But I didn't mention Lonnie Jr. or the kids with Dan's dad. So, Crystal did eventually become Roseanne's mother-in-law. And then there was Nancy. Nancy, still gay, and she's on them old apps, and she's found her love. And Roseanne said, what did Roseanne say? Still, dating women has to be easier than dating men. And Bev says, yeah, that's what Dan says. So classic Bev zingers. I don't know if you've heard. So the A story was that Bev has been kicked out of her retirement home for her risqueness, for her passing along of some horrible things to other people at the nursing home. So Bev was asked to leave, and Bev now has no money. Now, if you remember, Bev did have some money back in like season 5, I think it was, when her husband died. She sold the house and she got some money. She moved to Lanford. She gave the girls money to start the loose meat sandwich, the lunchbox. So yeah, but now Bev has no money, so she's being bounced back and forth. This episode definitely showed the growth of Jackie. Jackie's no longer, she actually is going to take her mom in. Thought it was interesting that Jackie had a different house. They didn't say anything, But that was the A story. They bounced Bev back and forth. Roseanne would have her one week, and Jackie would have her the other week. But then she gets mad at Jackie, leaves, and goes to live with Becky. And Becky, of course, being Becky, didn't really know all the money was gone. So when Roseanne tells her, Becky's face was like, oh. But she still let her grandmother stay until she came home, and her grandmother was having afternoon rendezvous with Doc Brown from Back to the Future. So she ends up with Jackie, and Jackie, like I said, has grown, and she takes her mother in. She's now a life coach. And Bev, classic zinger, in order to be a life coach, you should probably have a life. But anyway, so that was a touching moment between Jackie and Bev. The B story was probably my favorite story this time, which was the birdhouse. The birdhouse that Mark was building with Dan. Dan cut the wood and everything, and Dan was doing the drywall job, and Mark asked if he could help with the birdhouse. Well, Mark builds a fabulous birdhouse, okay? And this was the lesson I loved, because although we have our individuality, if someone's paying us for something, we must give them what they asked for, okay? The man wanted a birdhouse that looked like a replica of his own home, and Mark built this fabulous house, right? So here it is. But, Dan had to tell him, is this the birdhouse? Is this the place where birds go when they go to Vegas? And Dan's like, I understand his individuality, but I'm going to have to rebuild this, right? So Darlene, of course, being a mom, comes rushing in. What do you mean? You are crushing his individuality, Dad. And Dan's like, no, baby. At this point, he has got to do what he's supposed to do, because someone's paying us for this. We can't just give him a birdhouse that we like because we're expressing our individuality. But in the end, Mark won, because on the inside of the house, he put stars and rainbows and sunshine and different things for the birds to enjoy. So it definitely showed you that Mark is definitely Darlene's son. He listened, he incorporated, and he found a way to still make it work. So Mark is quickly becoming my favorite character. But that's it, y'all. That was Roseanne this week. Of course, it comes on tonight. And I'll be right back here next Tuesday to talk about it with you. Okay, y'all? Take care of yourselves. As always, no fear and no regrets. You're awesome. See you tomorrow. If you want to see something other than Roseanne. Roseanne will be next Tuesday. All right, y'all. Bye.